Familiar faces here today. Who's here for the first time? Okay, cool, nice, welcome. So yeah, like I said, this is a Remix Meetup. It's a monthly meetup that we hold here about Remix. Show of hands, because I don't always remember where everyone's at. Who's like pretty familiar with Remix, has used it before, has definitely run NPX, create Remix app, etc. Pretty much everyone. Back corner, y'all. You've been coming for like 6 months. You haven't even tried
I've
it.
used React Router. Which is it's a remix creation.
When did you use React Router? How long ago?
I'm starting to think you're just coming.
It used to be.
Oh my goodness, shame. No, I'm kidding. Well, that's all right. Because what I wanted to do today is because it's a little bit of a lighter group and we didn't have an official speaker. I wanted to try and make it a little bit more interactive. If that's cool with everyone. So raise your hand if you like have a laptop and you're willing to like engage a little bit via your laptop. Okay, so if you are not that person, I would recommend do what you want. I'm not gonna force you. I would recommend maybe just move closer to a neighbor and kind of let's maybe like work together and do a little bit of pairing if you're comfortable with that. If not, I'll still have my screen up so you can definitely watch what I'm doing and I can be your pairing buddy more or less. And yeah, that'll be good. So Remix World, who keeps up like up to date with what's going on in Remix? Oh, Mark does. Yeah, we know that. So what is the most recent thing that we've done? Vite support. I thought you were gonna say view transitions. Come on, man. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, Vite support. Yes. So yeah, so we released Vite support. So oh man, switched to dark mode. I didn't expect that. Oh man, I am such a light mode user, sir. This is very weird to me. I can't do it. All right, toggle. Sorry, y'all. You guys are gonna suffer, I guess. All right, there we go. That looks great to me. So yeah, Vite. Who raised show of hands? Who's familiar with what is Vite? Okay, cool. Actually, less people than I think that was 50% maybe have not heard of it or know what it is. So Vite is essentially like it's a compiler. So it's most similar, and people correct me if I'm wrong, because honestly, I'm not like the best of this stuff. It's basically it is much better version of like what Webpack was for a long time. So it is a pluggable system. It is a compiler. Let me also just go to the website. It's created by the person who created Vue, which is another framework kind of like React is. So yeah, next generation front end tooling. That's probably a better way to put it, as tooling generally, not necessarily just a compiler. Get ready for development, catchphrase, etc. Notably, yeah, some things that are really nice about it. It's very fast. That's one good thing. It's got a very competent team behind it, and it is again very pluggable in a way to where you can add transformations as you need to if you have like certain code. MDX is a really good example, or Markdown. You maybe have that code that you want to turn into like JavaScript or JSX or HTML or whatever. There are plugins that do that stuff really well that people have created in the community. So it's like, oh, I'm building my app and I just want to transform some MDX. Like you can just literally import or install one dependency, import one thing, and it just works for the most part with things like that. So very cool. And then recently, yeah, Remix started sponsoring Vite, and we decided we are tired of being in the compiler game. We're trying to get away from that, and we think that Vite is kind of the winner in the compiler space right now for front end just projects in general. So you can use Vite just with like really anything. Vue, obviously, you can use it with like React and just like a React Router app. That's totally possible in Vite. It is much. I would say it's very much the predecessor of also like what Create React app was, which was like the de facto way for like 6 years or so to create like a single page app, like a pure spa with React. So it's very cool. It's a very like cross-cutting, like community project, which is really nice, which is why Remix is super excited to have built on top of it, because it's not a Remix thing. Like we trust that they're going to do the best thing for the web as a whole, because they're not invested in like just being the best for Remix at all. They're invested in being the best for everyone. So it's pretty cool. So what I thought we would do maybe today is just play around with it, because it seems like even some folks aren't even necessarily familiar with Vite as a whole. But most everyone's pretty familiar with Remix, which I think is pretty cool. So so we have kind of two options. So this is a choose your own adventure story that we get to decide on. So we can start with like a minimal server or a custom express server. So show of hands if you just want to do the minimal server. This is totally arbitrary. It really doesn't matter. Okay, who wants to do the custom express server? One person. Okay, we're gonna do in the minimal. So I would recommend going to remix.run/blog. And then it should be the very first blog, I would just go to that. And we're gonna copy npx create dash remix at latest dash dash template, and then it's remix run slash remix dash templates slash unstable beat. Also, I know it looks like Vite, I believe it is French for fast. Yeah. So that is why it's pronounced beat. Is it? Okay. Evan is not French. He is.
Well, he lives in Singapore.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, as a Chinese only alt, so I'm gonna assume he is Chinese. Yeah. That's really interesting. Cool. I don't know. That's a very open source thing to do though. I mean, remix, everything is like music themed, so I can't really make fun of anyone. So, all right. So if we run npx create remix at latest with that template, and then yeah, you can just create it wherever. If you're not on the Wi-Fi, by the way, I don't think I'm spilling any secrets, but it's just Eastside Tech Hub. There's no password, so join that. Create a new Git repository, and then we'll install the dependencies. Brandon never came back on the Zoom. He's done with us. All right, it's downloading the dependencies. Should have used it PM. All right, so go to my remix app. Pull that up. So first thing you'll see is there you go. Is that good? Is that good? So there's this at the very root of your whole directory. There we go. There is a Vite config file, and pretty much right off the bat, this template gave us two things. It gave us unstable Vite plugin. This will change. It is unstable currently because not because we think it's like. We're pretty confident we're going with Vite, and we're pretty confident this is pretty solid and you could use it today, but we don't know 100%. Like things could be kind of a little bit buggy, and so we want to make sure that people have a chance to test it before we fully ship it. And then we also, like, if we do want to change anything, little things about the API, we just want that that option for a little bit of time. But if we do change anything, it's going to be pretty much like find and replace. So it's probably the most stable unstable thing we've released in my experience, but I also have only been here a year and a half, so not a year and a half, month and a half. That was completely wrong. All right, cool. So you're gonna import unstable Vite plugin as as Remix, and then this define config from Vite. We need that because that's how you define the config, and then this tsconfig paths from Vite tsconfig paths. All this is doing is we have like a path alias in our tsconfig down here. So we're just like, we're mapping, if you do like tilde slash, that's just saying like, hey, that's /app. So it's just a path alias. So that's just like a convention kind of thing that we like. Okay, cool. So what can we do in here? We have 4 scripts. Type check, that's pretty boring. We don't care about that. So we have a dev and we have a build. So first thing you always do is you run dev, right? You'll actually see this thing working. All right, so once that runs, it says Vite 4.5.0 ready in like 6 seconds. It's a little bit of cold startup for me. And then it says, hey, local is at HTTP localhost 5173. So that's just Vite's port. I believe you can pass in, I think it's just like port. I don't know. If you open up your options here, it's not port, it's
on server, right?
Is it? Okay, so you do server and then you would do port. Okay, that makes sense. So I could do 3000 here if I wanted. And then stop that. Oh, blew up. Did I do something wrong? It's just syntax stuff.
Interesting enough, when I ran the MPX script with that template,
Yeah.
it auto started with MPX V -- port equals 4000.
What?
So it quite,
Okay, cool.
yeah, so that was just what that unstable V template seemed to pull up.
Okay, cool.
Kind of neat.
Nice. Okay, cool. So, I've changed the port, maybe that I want 3000. You have a lot of control here. And like I did that when I did control space, it opens up like there's all sorts of stuff. We're in a TS file, so that's nice. We can just see kind of all the different things that we maybe want to do. But I don't want to do any of that. That seems complicated. I'm going to keep it easy.
That defining thing helper does for you is that it gives you the TypeScript types.
Yes,
It's
exactly. Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just returns the same thing, you pass it to it.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks. Okay, cool. So now we have on our left-hand side, we have this. Welcome to Remix. It's just our normal thing. So Remix, we can go to our index route and we can like change things. And when we save it, it updates on the left-hand side. It's very fast, which we like. Obviously, this is a pretty like simple kind of silly example. So it's not like too complicated what we're changing, but it's still very fast and much faster than what the Remix compiler we had is. And one thing that I've started doing, but it kind of scares me every time I do it is, what is it? It's like format on keystroke. I think I have to open.
There's format on save, format
No,
on
this one's even
paste.
crazier.
Oh,
Yeah, you just like turn on autosave after delay of like 100 milliseconds, and it gets very, very scary. You can just like change stuff and not even have to save it, and it's like immediately updating. It's a really, really good way to test how good are your tools, so I like that. So yeah, you can do lots of stuff. Another thing that we can do that Vite just kind of gives you automatically is we can like create a CSS file. So we'll just call it we'll just do index. It can be called whatever. That's CSS, and we're gonna say like an H1 would have a background color of I don't know, red. And then we'll go back to the route. Whoop. And then I think you can just import it. Let's see. See, it's crazy. I'm not even saving it. It's just like, hey, everything's wrong, but it will recover. So I believe I called that index on CSX.
No,
What
from
the-
side effect import.
Thanks. Yep. So you kind of gave it away there. So that's a side effect import. So this is non-standard in terms of like if you did that in just a regular JS file that you served up to a browser without like a bundler, that doesn't make sense. You can't import an index.css file, but like Vite has a nice convention that's pretty adopted in other things too. This definitely existed in like Webpack and whatnot, where it's saying, hey, if you import that, whatever file that is like using that, I'm just automatically going to bundle that CSS, that asset. I'm going to send it up to you. So Vite is like very much an asset kind of handler, more or less, is maybe a way to think about it too, or maybe asset bundler. And I don't know, there's all these terms get confusing. So Remix is kind of out of that game. It's saying like assets, that's Vite's thing. Remix, we're like we're a route handler or so. So that's pretty cool. You can just like have stuff, and you can say font size, like very big, and it just immediately updates. It's very cool. This is so ugly. Very, very ugly. Let's do actually like text. That's not good. See, I'm too used to tone at this point. What is it? Color. So easy peasy. So that's some of the power of Vite. But like I said, we can do, that doesn't even look red up there. Did I stop? That's weird. That was weird. I swear it was red on my screen. Slight delay. All right. So like I said, we can do like an MDX transform. So I think it's like, oh, good.
So now that you have the power of Vite behind Remix, Vite can tell which files and which routes are importing side effect CSS files. If Remix has plans or will even be able to do the sort of smart route bundling with, code splitting the CSS per route just using the side effect imports now?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly how it works, just because that's how Vite works, which is great. Yeah, so like that was a convention that I liked about how Remix worked, is basically, let me pull up some docs because it'll be a little easier to talk about, I think. So, oh shoot. Is it in here? That might be wrong. And our search is not what I want it to be, but that's a different conversation for another day. So inside of links, so inside of any route, you can export a links function, and that links function you can pass like styles. So how Remix worked is, yeah, basically it's like saying, okay, example.com/somestyles.css is bound to that specific route that you're on, whatever route this may be. This could be your index route or whatever. So whenever you are on that route, those styles will get loaded. Whenever you leave, those styles get unloaded. Vite just goes a step further and says, hey, this doesn't even have to be a route thing, and you don't even have to hook it up to that links function. This could be a component, and you're doing it a side effect import. And so anytime this component is rendered, I'm gonna bundle this CSS with it, which is like so nice. So yeah, like I thought this was a cool convention, and it is more like, this is where we get into this interesting thing of like, this is more webby. This is more how the web works. This is not. It's a little bit cheating, but you know, again, the community is going this way, and Vite has kind of done a good job with this. People trust it, so we're gonna say, okay, cool. If that's how you want to do it, you can do it.
CSS or no, or like global.
Say it one more time.
Is it scoped, CSS or no?
So this CSS, it's a little bit of both. So it technically, the CSS I wrote is global in the sense that I'm just targeting an H1, but I'm like 99% confident that what I'm saying is right. So let's take an example. So we're gonna create a new route and we're gonna call it, we'll call it Austin, I don't know, .tsx. And so here we're going to export a declaration. Should actually call it something. And so here we'll also return H1, we'll say Austin, and then we're gonna need some links so that we can move around. The error is saying just that I'm not typing correctly, is that right?
I'm typing fast enough.
Yeah, exactly. Transform failed. I don't know, we'll get to that in a second. All right, so link. Then this one will be to the home page, and so we'll say back. Setup of this stuff is way less interesting. And then here we're going to say a link, and this one will be be imported. This will be to Austin. So say go to Austin. Okay. CSS go. All right. I will say, okay, this is actually one thing we do know is not like 100% perfect. Our CSS imports do sometimes mess up with the HMR. So I did have to give it a hard refresh. So that's for Pedro to fix on the remix team. All right, so now if we go to Austin, oh shoot, it did work. That's not what I expected. No, I didn't want that.
Maybe it's just the HMR.
It could be.
Yeah,
All right, let's try building it. I totally expected it to not be global in the sense of like, yes, that CSS should not have been loading that other one. Maybe I just don't understand how it works. Let's see. Okay, NVM runs. Oh my gosh, sorry, Zoom is in the way, so I can't see what I'm writing. NVM run start. Okay, so now we're starting it. Okay, cool. So if we go to Austin, okay, so there it works. So yes, again, kind of a bug. This is great. I'm giving Pedro lots of work to do. So yeah, so there it's not global. We can open up the network tab and kind of see specifically what is it doing. So let's maybe try out that again. So it's in localhost index, blah, 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 and then we go to Austin. Yeah, and it's not there. And if we refresh this one, it doesn't load that CSS. So somehow it, yeah, okay, cool. I like it.
It works nice with SVGs.
Does it work nice with SVGs? Can you clarify specifically what nice means?
Kind of invert SVG and put it right into the JSX.
Yes. We'll do that, and then I'll tell you to never do this. But we can do that. So I have to look up what it is, but it's just like pretty much Vite, whatever is like how you find these things. So there's a Vite plugin SVGR. I'm trying to remember if that's the right one. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. A good kind of gut check with this stuff is usually if something has 720,000 downloads per week, that seems like the right one, right? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this as a dev dependencies, what they're doing. We're just gonna blindly follow instructions. That's what I do most of my life. And then, so it's gonna say, let's go to the Vite config. And close that one. And then, so we're just gonna import another plugin. So these are all just plugins. You just kind of keep passing them along. The order here, I was told the order does not matter 99% of the time. And I'm very afraid of that 1% of time when it's gonna matter. It's not happy with me right now. There it goes. I think it was just installing. Cool. So it said, yeah, to do all that, and then I should just be able to import. And so they do have this convention, and this, excuse me, in this case, where you have to add a question mark React. I think there's a way you can get rid of that, but we'll just go with it and not worry about that small convention. But that makes sense, honestly, like you are doing something atypical, so I kind of prefer to point out when I'm doing something atypical. Okay, so we need an SVG. So here's a fun little trick. If you right click on the Remix logo, you get sent to a drive. So if you ever need Remix assets, that's how you find them. Remix is not the only one that does this, I think. Does Vercel do this? I feel like they have one. They have this as well. They have this, which is actually kind of nice too. So you can copy the logo, blah, 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 brand guidelines. Yeah. So that's if you ever go into open source, make sure you add that little feature because it's super helpful when people are trying to make content. All right, cool. Let's switch. What logo do y'all want?
I want a colorful.
Cool, yeah.
Yeah. That's my
Really,
favorite.
really one.
All right, so we want the SVG. I'm going to download it. Okay. Actually want to see that in here. Okay, cool. Looks like I already had it downloaded, so clearly I've been doing a little bit of this. Okay, so what we're gonna do is open up. I swear Zoom is always in the wrong spot. All right. Doesn't really matter what we call this. I'm gonna put it in app, but we'll just call it like assets. Oh shoot, I did that wrong. We'll make a directory called assets, and then let's just throw this in here. And then I'm gonna call it, I'm gonna rename it just logo, just for ease. Can be called whatever. Okay, so we have our logo, it's in assets, that's cool. We can see it, it's right there. I have a little previewer, and there's the actual file. And so let's go back here and see what it says to do. So it says, we're just gonna basically, be importing it like that. Let me get back to here and get back to the index, and also let me run dev again so we can actually see this. Okay, so we say welcome to Remix, and then so here I want to render logo. We haven't imported it yet though, so it's going to say it's not defined, which makes sense to me. And then we'll import logo from assets/logo.svg, and then I said we needed that React at the end. I didn't have to give it a refresh, but there it is. There's your giant logo. I can maybe give it some parameters. There we go. That's pretty good. That's huge. What's going on with the spacing over here? Oh, I need to also set the height. Oh, I think actually I should have set the height, not the width, and just let the width figure itself out, I think. No, this doesn't make sense.
But that plugin's basically giving you a real SVG inline that you can go and do things like modifying fill colors and stroke colors, some things with CSS that you can't do if you import an SVG as an image tag, right? Okay.
Yes, you got it. So, and we can even point out, what's your name, by the way? What's your name? Even? I can try it again. Eugene?
Yes.
Eugene? Is that how you said it? Cool. Are you sure? You seem like you're trying to be nice to me.
But doesn't matter.
You'll have to correct me later. Huh? You'll have to correct me later. But Eugene, you said? Okay. So, as you pointed out, is this actually like an SVG element? So yes, we have our SVG and then we have this rect. And then all these Gs, so you can see like we have the full scope of what this SVG is.
Mhm.
Is that kind of what you were wanting?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that works. Now, my high horse. Don't do this. Please don't do this. So this is fine if you really do need to like really manipulate that SVG for some reason. But for some reason, for a long time, this became the de facto. I think because of Create React App actually is the reason. This became the de facto of how to import SVGs. It's pretty expensive to do this over and over again. It's fine for just like one case, but if you're downloading all of this and like all that rendering that you're doing, that's actually just kind of unnecessary if you truly just want the image and you're not doing any manipulation to styles, you're not manipulating the SVG in any way. Even if you're manipulating the styles, there's some stuff you can do with it just as an image, but you're limited, you're right. You should probably though adjust the SVG itself. So SVG should typically be treated just as images if they are acting as a logo or an image. So that's my high horse, but you can do it. So you have full power.
Is there some upsides in doing this kind of way if you're targeting to increase your web page speed insights, whatever, on the first? So I would use this way only on the first screen, so my kind of first rendering will be faster, or it won't really do this?
Good question. I think I get what you're saying. Yeah,
It's already in HTML. And I don't need to download the image.
Theoretically, yeah, that is a good point. You could try and use, so oh man, what is it? Is it preload? Nah, but this will help me. There are ways you can tell things.
It's still written in the HTML, so I
Yeah.
need to load HTML and then image. And this is like the
Yes, so you're right,
synchronous.
because it's in the HTML itself, yes, it will be rendered immediately. That is true. I will say though, what I was trying to say is like, there are ways to, I don't think this is what I'm looking for. What am I looking for? Image loading, I think that's it.
So
There are
if you-
ways to also tell though images, assets to preload stuff very fast, so you still should be able to get around this issue. Is all I'm trying to say, which is like an image tag, but totally valid that like, and honestly, if you're just talking about your SVG in the top left corner, that's fine, just like one import. I'm just saying like, just don't go crazy, like every single, SVG that you have probably shouldn't be like.
Also,
all
if
SVGs themselves.
if you add in this way, it will also add a lot of DOM nodes. And it's eventually also affect your page speed inside if you do it a lot.
Yeah, you got it. So yeah, it's a balance for sure, exactly. Yeah, so I think you got it. So yeah, that was a great example, like I wasn't even sure if I was gonna get to that one, so. Yep, so that's a good one. Another one, yeah, that I'm excited about, also, this will complain until we add, oh no, I threw it away, there we go. This just wants this reference in here, so we can find our d.ts file. And then that should fix, okay, cool, so that's all that was in the docs. Nothing remixy or special about that at all. Okay, so yeah, let's add an MDX page. Does everyone know what MDX is? So just say like blog / I don't know, one to be very non-descriptive. So hello, say this is my blog. Cool, and we're gonna go to blog / photo. I'm not sure why I think that you need access to my document. Sure, fine. Okay, so it says 404 not found. I think that exists. What?
Oh, yeah.
Remix. All right, fine.
For page like styled for remix, some kind of easier way than.
And what it was, yeah. So the reason it's not styled is because we want to encourage you to style it. I do agree that it would be nice to have better defaults though. So I'm of both minds because it's like I don't think anyone should use the default, but I'm with you.
To style it a bit like weird. I'm not weird, but not that easy than on Next.js, I think.
Right.
Like you need to add some error boundaries and some other things, but in Next.js I think you should add 404 page and it's working, if I'm not mistaken.
Flat instead of dedicated 404.tsx.
Yeah, but sometimes I don't want to do it as a spot. I'm not sure if it works like that. So if my loader doesn't find anything, I just throw in 404. And does it go to the splat in this way? It will not, correct? The splat will work only if I'm mistaken with URL like completely. Right?
It's been a second, but I'm pretty sure this is all you have to do.
In root?
I'm doing this first and then I'm seeing if this is right. So your default, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to set an error boundary in your root.tsx, and to me, that's the way to handle it. So you're right, that there is like, and actually Remix did have this convention super early on. They were like, oh, it'll be really cute and easy. Oh my gosh, I can never open this thing. If we just have like a 404.tsx page, right?
Yeah.
The issue is like, what if you actually do have a route that you want to be called like 404 for some reason? Like there's a pizza place that's a zip code. And so it's like, they may want to have a 404 page. So that's like, it's just totally agree, yeah. So this is, and honestly, I think we actually have had a debate about this of like, should we have these defaults in the root so that you're encouraged to see that? Because I agree that it's like, if you don't know that, it seems kind of hard, but if you do know it, then it's like, oh, this isn't too bad.
But you also need to wrap it in the full styles because it's not like full the CSS or whatever.
Sure.
I understand you can add like layer.
Yeah. So you just do, this is how I would typically do it. Again, like it gets boilerplatey, but like we try not to have a bunch of decisions about like exactly how you're gonna set it up. Oh man, this is definitely, but this is on React for making this so complicated. So yeah, I would pretty much say, okay, this is what I want my styles to be. So I'm gonna wrap everything through this. Basically, oh no, I lost it. Right, and then so I'm actually gonna do body in here. Any style, so this is kind of arbitrary, of course. And then here I would just say the same thing of like, because I don't know, like, in all honesty, I would not recommend sending all of your styles down for your error boundary, because your error boundary should be probably a pretty minimal page so that it's like showed very quickly to your user. The trade-offs, I get it.
Header, footer, like whatever.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, no, totally. So it's like, okay, so we have a header and we say, this is the header.
So they actually need
Right.
the whole head and whatever HTML wrapper.
I'm with you. So we got the header, and then this header should also show up on, well, we can't, log one doesn't exist yet, sorry. So go back to Austin. So you can see there's our header. And so this is the header. So this is just how I do it. You have the full power of like React in your hand. So I would just say, I'll create a wrapper with everything you want to show up always. And then in your error boundary, in the root, you set a default error boundary, and then you can export these from any route you want. So you can go as nested as you want. You can have specific error boundaries for every single page. So that's why we like this convention rather than a general 404 page, because this gives you a lot of control, and then your root is your root part. But yeah, totally, I agree. It's like there's a way you could do this, like from a framework level, that could feel really like nice, but then there's also like there's always that question of like, what trade-off are you having? So does this feel a little easier seeing this all put together? Or does it still feel like, it could be easier? Genuinely asking, you can disagree. Like, it's fine.
Ways like for those who are just super, let's say, freshmen or whatever you call it, so they can go with easier way and also some more sophisticated way if you want to have more control.
I agree. Yeah, I think what I would prefer to see is just the default set maybe in a and like the template itself. Cause like I don't love also like I wouldn't want to have two ways to do the exact same thing. I wouldn't want like a .404 page or like a 404 page and like this, cause then it's like, which one wins? You know, if there's a conflict between the two. Cause I feel like this is pretty simple. Like, okay, just export a function and that's it. Like that's very Reacty, it's very composable. But I agree that if you don't know that, and it's like not present in your face, and that it feels more complicated, when in reality, I think it's pretty simple, but I get what you're saying.
By the way, are you able
Thanks,
to
appreciate that.
operate conditionally on what type of error?
Yeah, I didn't even get that.
Okay, I kind of assumed that was possible.
Yeah, I can't remember how to do it. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's try this. I don't know what this thing is.
Right, it's imported.
Response status.
Okay, so this thing, oh, come on, really?
That's what it is, it's just an unknown.
So what is this? Is a route error
That
response?
tells you if it's a remix error.
Oh, fascinating. Okay, cool. So let's just copy and
So-
paste this and we'll see what it's doing.
Error dot status, I assume, would be the code.
Yeah, so import this. Okay, so this is saying, we don't know what this is, but this thing does something to where it checks it. And so if we have it, then we know it's an error response, and that error response is, yeah, it has a status, it has, we can just pull it off,
Another question. Is there a way to
et cetera. So now
with this page?
we can see, hold on one second, let me just go back to,
Yeah, so if it's not an HTTP error, it's
Yeah.
gonna show the other thing, which is gonna include like your message and stuff.
so here, yeah, so that H1 is saying, okay, here's the status code itself, here's the status text itself, and then here's like the actual like error that we got. You can do whatever you want here, you have the full power again, but yeah, that's how like you would test. And then if something else blew up, you're gonna get into this place where it's like, something else blew up, probably like JavaScript or whatever. What were you asking?
You don't need to load some data from server and to show on the 404 page. It's no way to go with loader, correct? So I probably need to.
Okay, so you want a loader? And then normally you would just return, you know, your JSON, right? Let's make this async just in case we need that later. Okay, so, oh, I promise guys, I know JavaScript. All right, okay, so typically, so if it blew up in your loader, you want to send data down basically. So if I have an error, Then I'm gonna say like, I don't know, error, or I'll say message, sorry. This blue up. Okay, so, wait, sorry, where's it? Oh, does it really? Yeah, you're right. No, that makes sense. I'll get back to that then.
You can just throw the object.
Yes, exactly. So I was thinking, so now, actually, what is going on? Supporting it.
You're on a.
Not on a real route, but the route should still blow up, shouldn't it? Oh, okay, it's hitting the 404 error first, which is why, you're right. Okay, so if we actually know what the error was, we can direct kind of what the error itself is. So as you were pointing out, so if we wanted to, well, I'm trying to think how you would do this. You said you could just throw the object, right? But how is that actually how it, I don't know how to do that.
It might, like the way
Yeah, go for it.
it works with objects, if you throw just an object, since this returns a promise because it's async function, when you catch it, you're just catching the object.
Yeah, but who's catching it is the question.
Remix will catch it, pass it on.
Right, okay, so say there we got an unknown error.
Cause it's not a instance of error.
Yeah,
It's not
so
a remix error.
I don't even know, yeah, so in that case, it's like we threw something, but it's like, what the hell is that thing? Because typically you do wanna actually throw an error.
Yeah, it'll just,
Yeah.
if you
So
JSON
in that case, you're
stringify
right,
it.
so you totally can just throw whatever the hell you want. More or less SVJSON serializable, and that will trigger the error boundary because you threw, you didn't return. And so at that point though, you just need to know what you actually threw, because Remix has no idea at that point. So you're totally right, you can just throw whatever you want, then you could render that. I would still recommend though, like if you know that you made a mistake, you should be returning, you should be throwing an error, or even returning. So you can set even like returning a response with like a, sorry, what I'm trying to say is,
An error attribute?
Yeah.
Can you set more fields?
I think it's this. Oh wait, sorry, status. 500, right? Will this work? Now see that worked? It's probably because I did something silly, right? So it's like a correct 500?
Yeah,
You have to throw
it would show up in your
You
loader.
can throw a response.
Wait, does the status
you go.
need to go in the first object?
Now it's upset because I'm trying to render something, I think.
Not valid in the
I think it's this thing. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, cool. So what's going on here now? Yeah, you're right. So you can totally throw just a JSON, or an object. This just is serializing it basically, and give it a status code of whatever you want. And then it's upset because I'm not parsing that basically and it's trying to render it and stuff. So yeah. Man, it's been a long time since I've done error boundaries and Remix. So thank you all for bringing that up. But yeah, you have a ton of control. So yeah, it says, here, you may intentionally throw for XXX response, trigger an error UI, throwing a 400, 401, 404, et cetera, et cetera. I threw a 500 though in this case, that's what happens. I mean, it's gonna be the exact same thing. So yeah, in your loader is pretty much, sorry, to get back to your question, in your loader is like where you wanna do all your logic, more or less. So you have, you have the typical, you have two kinds of errors, right? You have known errors and unknown errors. That's not how people say it though. They have a much more eloquent way of putting it, but you have like your unknown exceptions and your known exceptions. So you have like, hey, you gave me the wrong data for this, or like you're not authenticated or something like that. In that case, you would want to have logic in your loader anyway that branches and returns information that's useful to the user. A lot of times you could do that as the error boundary, but you could also just like do it as directly loader data and then render something with that. And then you have the unknown errors, and that's really where your error boundary probably should be shining, is it's like, I don't know what blew up, something blew up, but I do still want to tell the user that something blew up. Trying to think if I could trigger HUBs, but I don't know if I can. But anyway, they've got a nice one that comes up and they're like, like Houston, we have a problem. They have this little like cute little animation and they say like, something's wrong.
Some of that we actually do
Are still there.
Some of that we actually do at the edge.
Yeah.
And it never even makes it to our web server.
Yeah.
And then as it makes its way through the stack, we have different ways to be able to show those.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we are far from beat. That's a great question. No, thank you so much. I'm gonna need to do a whole brush up on error boundaries and we can do a whole talk. I think that'd be awesome. Or someone else can do it actually. I would love that because is that like hearing from y'all? Okay, what were we trying to do?
MDX.
Heck yeah. Alright, so you made a GET request. Oh, I should probably like clean this up though, because this is gonna get crazy later on. We'll just delete this. We don't need any of this now. Okay, you made a GET request to blog one, but did not provide a loader for route, like, so it's just like, I don't really know what's going on. You know, I'm kind of confused. So here I'm actually gonna go close that one. Let's go to, so if you go all the way to the bottom, you can see our Vite unstable. This is our docs currently for Vite. This will eventually not say Vite unstable and it'll probably go, it'll stay in future. Well, hold on. I was about to say it'll stay in future until V3. I don't know if that's entirely true. We'll see. That's for other people to make that decision. Okay, so if you scroll down, you should be able to find, actually, I'm just gonna look it up. They have a good example in here, which is nice. Again, this is just a plugin. So this isn't like a remix specific thing. This is just remix saying like, hey, here's an example. So that's why I went there because I just already knew this example was in here. So we're going to install the dependency first.
Cool thing to mention about this dependency is it's a rollup plugin.
Yes.
And Vite is a superset of, or Vite's plugin interface is a superset of rollups. So any rollup plugin will work with Vite.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you. No, that's a super, that's a good point for a lot of reasons. One, because because of that. And then two, because like, it almost makes it as if like rollup is now the target for like plugin systems. So Remix isn't even 100% tied to Vite per se. We're more like, hey, we're tied to anything that can use rollup plugins more or less. So we like that. That is good for our future. So. Right, MDX. So we're just gonna do what it says to do. There's some more stuff in here, but I think that actually should be it to get us going. Okay, so now it says the page isn't working, so that's cool. Oh, it's because I probably goofed everything up, y'all. Yeah, I had too many ports running. There we go. So yeah, this is the header. Let's go back. Wait, no, that actually is totally wrong. Oh no, I closed everything. Hold on, I gotta restart Chrome. There we go. All right, cool. So where was I? Blog.1.tsi or .mdx? Oh, I just didn't put anything in here. Is that what you were saying, Matt?
Yeah, that's right.
There we go. Sorry about that.
We did in the other one, but not this one.
Cool. Yeah, the style isn't there, but you get the point. Like this is what this is doing is, you know, it is rendering, it's doing transformations. It's turning that into, you know, pre with code and block quotes. So like we could target that and style it in the ways that we wanted to. But MDX is especially useful because you can render things, right? You can render like logo. Ooh, I wonder if this will work. I haven't tried this one. Import logo from assets / logo React. I really hope this is working. Thanks, y'all. Oh, totally blew up. But that's just because I did everything wrong.
It was your fault.
It was. Every single time this has been my fault. Except for this time. All right, what happened? I can't open it. I think it's just these. The tilde doesn't work for it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. So that's just again, that's an alias setup that you'd have to do. Oh, I know how to fix that one actually. I've done this before. Okay, so that should fix that one. And then if I go back here. All right, I might actually have to restart the server on this one. What? So sad. I swear I did that right. I don't know. It's joining us a little late. I don't know. I don't know why that didn't work, but it's not Remix's fault. That's all I know. Anyway, that's kind of nice that, yeah, in your MDX file, you can, that's really mad at me. Did I do something wrong?
We might have started up another one on 3001 again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Relative, you need one more relative path, I think.
It's still saying cannot find module tilde. It's not picking stuff up.
Oh, yeah, it is.
okay, so it's unstable. Either way now.
What is it? It's not finding that. But now, no, now it's not finding tilde index CSS.
Oh, so I just broke TS config is what y'all are saying.
If you chop off your .mdx to the.
Hold on.
Oh, yeah, because it says W/star.
What did I just do?
in
Oh
your
my
resume.
gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, you noticed what I saw. Okay, so that should fix it. Cool. But it should just be /star, right?
Slash.
Or squiggly.
Thanks, y'all. Okay, so
That
now,
might work in your DX.
Oh, it was
let's see. I'm too impatient for these cold starts. Okay, so we're back to that error.
Now if you make that a tilde.
Amazing. I'm glad that every mistake has just been me not typing correctly. So that's good.
Which module did you import in the Vite config, Vite config?
Oops, sorry. So back in Vite, what did
Which module? Command up.
yeah, import MDX from at mdx-js/role. Yes. And then going back to the remake.run docs. I mean, there's a lot of, this doesn't even have the full extent of it, but there's all sorts of like front matter stuff you can do. Oh, shoot, that's the wrong one. That's the old MDX stuff. Yeah, we could add front matter support, which just like parses front matter. You can do whatever you want with that. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do. Is it MDX/JS rollup? Yeah, this website will give us all sorts of information as well. Nice. Pretty cool. Okay, any other burning questions?
For a project that has been in progress for a while that wants to switch from the Remix compiler to Vite.
Yeah.
How involved is that? How involved would that process be?
That's a good question. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
What's your question?
Was Cloudflare workers?
That's a really good question. So Cloudflare Workers is, okay, short answer is no. The longer answer is like, we feel pretty confident we're gonna get there soon. So we have been talking to Cloudflare employees. They are very, very eager for this to work. I do not know all the technical details. We put out a video a couple of days ago, a live stream on the Remix channel, and minute 40-ish, I had to look this up today. Someone talks about this more in depth, but basically they have a solution, a lot of technical details behind it, a solution that works for like Next.js and some other folks and whatnot. That I believe is the solution we want to adopt immediately, but long-term, they don't even like that solution. So there's like, they are very much working on a solution for everybody because they do want this to work a lot better. So we will get there. That is like, I don't think we will remove unstable until Cloudflare is supported, because Remix is always very much been in the game of like, we want you to be able to use whatever server environment you want, as long as it's a JS kind of one. Dino node, we want to be on Bun, but Bun, that's their fault. It's not our fault. Cloudflare workers, other ones I'm forgetting. Yeah. So yes, we definitely want to get there. It is not there today, unfortunately. So yeah.
Aren't they using like an adapter basically to add some sort of first party or?
Yeah, they have, well, it's like, they have like worker D, I can't remember. They have like all these different things. They have like Wrangler 2 was a big problem for a while, and that's like a way that they, I think, emulated, or yeah, that seems like a good word. They're like environment essentially, but then I think they wanted to get away from that, is the story I've heard, and but people are all still kind of using that, and so that's kind of a problem. So it's like, they're like, hey, look at this new cool thing, but everyone's like, no, we're still on the old stuff. And so I think that is my understanding of the whole story. So it's kind of on them to fix it all for everybody, more or less, but they are like, they've been super, super eager and willing. And there's been a lot of conversations that I'm not following very well just because it's just a little bit outside of what I'm doing, but I know it's like actively being worked on all the time. Same with Netlify, they just reached out to us today, like they're very eager to get, one, they aren't on V2 yet, I don't think, for their template, unfortunately, but it is like almost they're ready to announce that, and then they really want like support to work just out of the box for Vite and have like a Vite plugin and just like work exactly how you'd expect it to and everything. So far, everyone like this has honestly made people, I think, more willing to work with us, this move to Vite than not that people weren't unwilling, it just is another step, because it's like, hey, if it works for Remix on Vite, then it works for like so many other people on Vite, so it's all good all around. Okay, so I had an idea. Want to, but we have this great website called, oops, that's not it, remixaustin.com. If you go to GitHub, and if you go to the repository, we should probably actually link to the actual, this guy. All right, so if you go here, this is a remix project. It's not the most complicated remix project, but it's got some stuff, right? So my thought was we could either do this as a mob project, or we could all just kind of break out and like, hey, find someone to pair with and like see if you could convert this, see if you could get this on Vite in the next 30 minutes. And let's see, and because this is good for me, because I can go back to my company and be like, this is a horrible experience, or it's gonna be so easy and they're gonna be like, wow, we are taking the rest of the year off because we've just done so much good work. No, I'm just kidding. So how does that sound? Does that sound like a fun challenge? Cool. So if you don't feel comfortable, I really just like look at these people who've been asking all the questions, go sit by them. That's what I do when I'm uncomfortable.
Okay. So most of the changes were taking what was in this, and this is probably why the blog is breaking, I'm realizing now, cache directory. Some of the, so a lot of this stuff, the watch paths, server module format, the server dependencies to bundle won't be necessary anymore. I lifted this route files to ignore directly out. That's just an argument in the Remix plugin now. It doesn't take this cache directory thing, so I don't know where that goes now.
You don't need it, it's handled by Vite.
Nice.
We have the TS config paths in there, and then this React plugin because we needed it to make it work.
Okay.
And then all the vtest stuff can just go in here as well. I'm importing the define config from the vtest, so it has those types as well.
Cool.
I added a post CSS config to pick up the Tailwind config. Was there something else? Oh yeah, package JSON I converted to module. I'm not sure that we had to do that. I tried to do that to fix the React thing, but.
Yeah, I don't think we have a custom server, so I don't think we had to do that, but if we did, I think you're right, that maybe would have helped. Okay.
So I think that is most of it. Then I just put the Vite is the dev command here.
Always. That's awesome. I assume the blog is not working yet, right?
I think you need MDX bundler and the plugin array for the Vite config.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's,
we don't know what's going on in the Remix Austin.
and that too. That thing is kind of weird.
Looks like nice logo.
We're not totally sure.
We need an MDX for the demo you just did, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
probably some of it,
Yeah.
because it's not compiling the MDX.
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, it's installed. Roll up and not remark. Although I guess.
The rollup plugin shouldn't be installed for.
Probably inputting it.
Touch this stuff.
Ah, you're right. Yeah. No, but there was MDX bundler in the plugin array for the old one.
Yeah, but that should get automatically.
Yeah,
Now, let's see if it's just that.
No.
It's
You.
it's something on the list.
You did it. And I didn't even know if we could do, so I'm happy. This is great. Yeah, thanks, Mark. Round of applause for Mark.